Hello everyone, this is Granax Aurelius from the Horny Herons, and I'm going to be talking to you about exploration and scouting. We're going to start off with some basic exploration, data and relic sites. All you're going to need is one of the Tech 1 scout frigates, which is either the Heron, the Magnet of the Amar, the Imicus of the Galante, and the probe of the Mimitar. I prefer the Heron, because the 5 mid slots, because it gives you that extra slot to use a scan range finding array to improve scan probe strength. So as you can see, it gives this ship will give you bonus increase to core probe strengths and your relic and data analyzer virus strength. Now, first things you're going to want for travel, because it's not a covert ops ship, it can't warp cloaked. We're going to use an improved cloaking device Tech 2, a micro warp drive, and 2 warp core stabilizers. Now, the reason for the micro warp and the cloak is we're going to do a micro warp cloaky trick to basically avoid gate camps. It's essentially a means of which you can almost do an instant warp where you can't be targeted. So I'll show you that later on in the video. And the warp core stabilizers is if for some reason they manage to target you with a fast locker while you're doing this, it might improve your chances of still being able to escape, although being slim, but it's more of the warp core stabilizers are a backup. Then you're going to want a core probe launcher 1, because it's just a basic fit, so you can fit your core probes. We'll use core scanner probes, and a salvager. Now, I haven't come across any sites where I've needed the salvager, because I think they've changed that, because you used to need salvagers, but I don't know if you still need them. I could be wrong, but I haven't come across any need for them since some recent changes with exploration, so I haven't used them had to use one in quite a while, so I'm not too sure about that, but I've left that there just in case. And you want your data and relic analyzer, so you can run your data and relic sites, and a cargo scanner. Now, the reason you want a cargo scanner is so you can be picky with what cans you want to be hacking into, because a can that you find might have something not really that much worth of value, and you want to basically be efficient, so you can basically target the cargo scan it, see if it's worth hacking. If not, move on to the next one, and if the next one's got good stuff, hack it, and all the other cans are bad, just leave. You can run all the cans if you want and get all the loot if you want to, but if you want to be efficient on just looking for expensive items, cargo scanners really useful, and the scan range fighting array, as I said before, more scan strength on your probes. And you're going to use 2 rigs. The reason you're not using 3 is because they use 200 calibration each, but they provide 10% scan strength bonus to your probes each, so you can lock on to signatures in space a lot better. So this is just for running data and relic sites, this ship. So let's take it out and do some sites, and I'll show you how it's done. Alright, so first of all we're going to start off by me showing you how to do the Micro Warp Cloaky Trick. Now, just as a reference, the Micro Warp Cloaky Trick works on even battleships. The other day, sorry, not the other day, it was actually a couple weeks ago, but I was moving my Rattlesnake through a low-sec system, and used the Micro Warp Cloaky Trick to get through low-sec, and had an Arazu decloak and try and target me, but he also, before he even targeted me, he'd already popped his covert Sino and dropped 3 Redeemers on me. He couldn't even target me with this trick, and just basically warped off. So that basically should be enough evidence to tell you how well this trick works. Now, first thing you want to do, we're going to just optimize our slots around a bit. Okay, so what you're going to do when you jump through a gate, we're just going to pretend we're in low sec, but when you jump through a gate, you need to pick a celestial you're going to go to, and you're going to click the align button. As soon as you click align, you're going to hit F1 and cloak, and as soon as you hit F1, hit F2, because when you cloak, you're allowed, for the first few seconds, you can get an activation off of one module before cloak actually engages. So basically you'll be cloaked with the micro warp drive running for one cycle. As soon as that's been done, you deactivate the micro warp drive, and then when it's about to finish, so basically around 80% finished of the warp drive cycle, you're going to push F1 and decloak and spam the warp button at your celestial, and basically you go instantly into warp. I'll demonstrate. So we jump. We'll just pretend we're jumping into low sec. Okay, so we're going to pick Celestial and just pretend there's a gate camp here. Going to hit Align, Cloak, Micro Warp Drive, deactivate Micro Warp Drive, and when this is about to finish, we're going to spam the warp button with decloak. And then bang. It leaves them about half a second to target you. And that's how you do the Microclick Trick. And this, as I said, this can be done on all size ships. As far as I'm aware, I think orcas can still do it as well. Alright, now on to some data and relic sites. Alrighty guys, on to scanning now. I've already got a relic here scanned up, which we'll do in just a minute, but I just wanted to, I forgot to record before finding that signature, so I'll just show you the scanning process. When you're in your safe spot, you want to be cloaked up and already have your probes launched, and make sure you're a bit of distance away from your probes. Once you've got your probes out, make sure you're in your map and on your solar system map, which will be this button with the probe scanner open, and then select pinpoint formation, and then drag the scan range so it's just big enough so that the inner overlappings are basically all covering the signature. Then hit scan. Oh, I got another relic. Cool. Yeah, at about a certain percentage, sometimes it requires more than 30%, but depending on the percentage of the scan, will determine whether or not, like, it'll tell you what the signature type will be, but not the actual, scan group, not the actual site itself. After each scan, basically reduce the range, recenter, scan again. I was being a bit pedantic, making sure it was in the dead center. All you have to do is just make sure it's inside the middle bubble. And we've got a locked on signature. So we're going to go to the first one I found, because they're both the same, which is, I'm not going to save the location, but Decayed Angel Particle Accelerator. So we'll go to the first one I found. Recover active probes. Now, I am not in my buzzard at the moment. I'm in my Heron at the moment. I'm actually in my buzzard because I'm in low sec. And I mean, I could be using the Heron, but I prefer to use my buzzard. Now, I just realized I'm in my combat scanning fit and scouting, so if you'll just give me a second, I'll skip ahead and where I've actually got my relic analyzer. Alright, now that I've got my data and relic analyzer, even though I'm only going to need my relic scanner, just as a bit of notice, data sites This is exact same as the relics. So, alright, which one's the closest? Now, in low sec, you want to make sure you stay on your PvP tab, and have your D-scan set to about 1 AU. Now, I'm going to, once I get in range, I'm going to actually do a cargo scan on these ruins first, basically, so you can see what's the possible loot outcome of the containers. And yeah, always keep scanning. Okay, so we got some salvage here. That probably will want a salvager, which I'll probably need my... Nope. Okay, so you got a mini game that you have to do. Now, while you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure you keep doing a scan every couple of nodes. Shit, there's the core. Ooh, lucky. Alright. Just keep scanning. Crack loot. Hey. Now we'll go to the next one. I'm going to actually set orb to 1000. Just keep scanning and turn camera tracking off because that shouldn't be on. So go that way, you fucking bastard. Alright, what do we got? Some more salvage equipment. And well, that's pretty much it. So as long as you make sure you keep doing your scan every couple of nodes, you should be right. If you see something hit that 1 AU scan, warp off back to your safe spot. Don't risk basically losing a ship. Alright, so we'll move on to the fitting of a ship for running combat sites, or low difficulty combat sites. Alright, so now we're on to combat exploration. Now you've got exploration sites that are combat sites as opposed to the data and relic we just did before. These can be done depending on the difficulty of the said data site. Combat site. You can do them in a frigate or a destroyer. I tend to use assault frigates for them because they've got really high base resistances and good range, damage, tank ability, mobility. They basically got a really strong mix of everything, so they're really good for it. So I'm using a Hawk, the Caldari assault frigate. Now it has a 10% bonus to kinetic, light missile, and rocket damage, and a 5% bonus to light missile and rocket launcher rate of fire. Now, because it's got a higher bonus on the damage and instead of the rate of fire, we're going to go with light missiles simply because they got longer range. Means we don't have to move as much to get into effective range, and because light missiles prefer more damage, rockets prefer large amounts of rate of fire. And we've got max velocity as well, so basically going to have fairly long range light missiles. So basically light missiles is the most logical choice here, for at least for the PvE side of things. And the next bit is the shield boost amount per level, so basically it repairs much better, which is why it's a good choice for exploration, because you'll need to repair damage taken. And the roll bonus isn't important, that's more of a PvP related bonus, so you don't need to worry about that. So we got 4 light missile launcher Tech 2 here, and we've got a core probe launcher. This is all-in-one fit. You could, if you wanted to be a bit more efficient about it, you could probably drop the core probe launcher and fit another ballistic control system in the low slot. But for those people that don't want to go out with their their scan frigate and scan down a site and then save the location and come back with their assault frigate, and they just want to do everything all on site at once, you can fit a core probe launcher 1 to your assault frigate. You're going to use a 1MN afterburner Tech 2 so get some speed tank going, so you mitigate some damage by speed and also be able to keep the range that you want to be at. A small shield booster Tech 2 to repair damage taken, cap recharger Tech 2 to increase the rate at which your capacitor regenerates, and 2 Tech 2 EM ward amplifier Tech 2s. Now the reason we're using 2 EM is because Caldari Tech 2 ships have fairly high base thermal, kinetic, and explosive resistance on their shields. There's 0 EM, so we're basically plugging the EM hole. We've got 61%. And we've got a ballistic control system Tech 2, increases damage and rate of fire of the light missile and light missile launchers. And the code processor Tech 2 is to help accommodate the core probe launcher, and also the fact that it didn't like basically too much CPU was being used, so that's why we've got that. An anti-explosive screen enforcing rig, because basically to bring the explosive resistance up around where the EM is as well. And we've got a warhead calefaction catalyst to increase the impact damage of light missiles, of missiles in general. And we've got your 8 core probe launcher, 8 core scanner probes, and you got Scourge Fury light missiles because they're the kinetic missiles, and this has kinetic damage bonuses. Now the only reason you want precisions with Fury, if you want to run drone combat sites as well, you'll need precisions, because light class drones have a signature radius of 25, so these have an explosion radius of 25, so they're more likely to apply better damage to them. It's the only reason you'll want to carry precisions. But otherwise, all other circumstances, you just use Fury. If you're one of those people that don't like Fury Tech 2 missiles because of the explosion radius, just simply get yourself some Caldari Navy Scourge missiles, so faction missiles, explosion radius of 40 meters, but believe me, Fury will be fine. So let's go out and run some DED sites, or combat sites. Okay, we've got ourselves an Angel Lookout, so it's an unrated site, so it doesn't have a DED rating, but what we got is the first pocket. Going to have to clear a couple of ships off, and then there's the second pocket, which is the interesting one. The only thing we're going to be going for is the Commander Frigate wreck, the Domination Ruffian, as it has possible escalation, but I've already had a look at the escalation. The escalation's crap, so we're going to ignore that. The Archangel ammo is not interesting, but the Domination Frigate modules is what's interesting. That's where these are going to lie, so we're going to run this site. Basically get this. I got this information just from EvEpedia. Just typed in Angel Lookout. Right, I'm going to walk to the site. Now if we're in LOSEC, I would basically be having DScan open, and I'd operate on my PvP tab, heavily zoomed out, and just basically operate by targeting stuff on the screen and consistently scanning. Now I would do a 1AU or 1AU scan. As soon as you see something come on scan, you just warp off to your safe spot that you created. And I just target stuff on the screen, but because we're in high sec, I'm just going to use my PvE tab. The other thing you want to look out for with that info sheet that I had up before is looking for what sort of things have like warp scramblers or webs or something, and taking note. In the second room there was a couple of ships with target painters, but that's not too much of a big issue. But stuff that has like webs or scrams or jammers, you want to prioritize killing first. Get out of the wreck. When you're going to repair, basically switch out from turning off your micro warp and switching to repairs so you can conserve capacity usage. Yeah, in low sec, make sure you're always on that D scan. That way, if you see someone on that short range 1AU scan, and you can warp off to your safe before they even land on grid to try and catch you. Oops, miss. And from what I remember on that sheet when I was reading it, there was no loot of consequence in this room, so this is the room we're interested in. Actually, should have left that page open. Now, whoops. Pocket 2, where is it? Arc Gisty, where are you? That one and that one. So basically we're going to go for these two and force the commander spawn. Looks like it didn't trigger the commander wave. That didn't trigger the escalation either. Okay, so basically the commander mob didn't spawn, so this room's a bust. So we'll just move on and head on to the scouting training. Alright, so scouting. Scouting is something done in a fleet to essentially you can either have a forward scout or in addition also a rear scout, basically where a scout will always stay at least one or more jumps ahead of the fleet, and then same except for the rear, to be able to assess possible incoming threats or possible targets before the fleet engages them. Essentially it's a forward advanced warning system. Covert ops ships are generally best for this because of a couple of things. We're not going to bother with this, not important at all, useless. So reduce CPU and cloaking devices, not really. That's a big deal for the because of the fact that you can fit a covert ops cloaking device, so you can warp around cloaked, which is why they make an ideal scout, as well as they have a warp speed of 8 AU per second, so they get around pretty quickly. Core and combat scanner probe strength. Survey probe flight time is not really that important in this case. This is good if you're looking for suitable moons for a POS, but other than that, not really worth it. Further bonus to Relic and Data Analyzer virus strength. It's pretty good. It's much better than the Heron if you're going to be doing Data and Relic as well, but if you don't have access to a covert ops, then the Heron or the other scout frigates will do just fine. Otherwise, for scouting, covert ops is an amazing ship, especially if you're planning on doing black ops bridging where it can light covert sinusoidal field generators as well as the recons, but we're not going to get into that at all in this class. Cloak reactivation delay reduced to 5 seconds, so that's a pretty big deal. If you bump off something, you can use your micro warp drive to burn some distance and then try and recloak before you get targeted or something. But if you know what you're doing, you shouldn't get found. Now, so basically a fit. Now, as you can see, I'm not currently using my third eye slot because it doesn't have a Sino in it, and I'm not going to be using one, so that's why I have a coprocessor, so you can fit the Sino. You'll want a Covert Ops cloaking device, Tech 2. This is a must for all of the Covert Ops frigates. Sisters expanded probe launcher, because you're not going to be in combat anyway. It's a bit expensive, but it provides you with where is it? A 10% bonus to strength of scan probes, so it's pretty worth it, especially when you're trying to instant scan down well, enemy ships. Micro warp drive, simply for, like with the Microclick Trick, the only difference is you're using it to burn some range from your last position. So if they see you cloak, people might try and burn to you where they saw you last and try and decloak you before you can warp off. Basically this will allow you to gain some distance, so you just cloak micro warp, you'll get your one cycle. Difference is with this, because there's no maximum velocity modifier, so you don't get nerfed on your speed like with the other cloaks. You'll still do your full micro warp speed, which with my current skills I think is around 2300 meters a second. Yep. Cargo scanner and a ship scanner. The only reason you want these two, well, actually, how much fitting do they take up? Yeah, sweet FA. I was going to say if they took up around the same amount as scan range finding arrays, you could probably fit more of them, get much better scan strength on your probes, but this is more for when you, say you manage to find like a industrial or a hauler or a freighter or something that doesn't have combat capabilities out in your low or null sec. You can when your fleet tackles it, you can, if you're planning on ransoming them, you can at least do a cargo scan on their ship to see what it's worth, and same with pods, you use the ship scanner to see if they've got any implants worth mentioning as to how much you reckon you might be able to ransom off them if you're planning on doing that. 2 scan range finding arrays. It's another reason why I like the buzzard, because the 5 mid slots can get much stronger scan strength on probes. As I said before, the coprocessor Tech 2 for the Sino. The only reason I've got a Navy micro auxiliary power core is because a Tech 1 would not suffice for the fitting Sino, so I needed the Navy one, and I wasn't prepared to train at this particular time. I'm not prepared to train capacitor management to 5. It's currently at 4, but it does provide, this one provides 12 megawatt of power, this one provides 13, one extra, and you're going to want your 2 small gravity capacitor upgrades, better scan strength, so that you can get as much, because I'll be showing you later is how to do an instant probe where you only have to do 1 scan with your probes to lock onto a signature for your combat scanner probes. You're basically filling out on as much strength as possible. And that's pretty much your fit. So let's take it out and I'll show you some basic scouting. Alright, so we're just going to warp to the system next door, and we'll do that. And we'll show you what you're going to do. So we'll just assume we've got a fleet. Our fleet is in this system. We're going to move. We've been moving to scout on the next system. I'll show you what we're going to do. Make sure your scan range is set to maximum. So what you do after entering, got no one on the PvP tab, just gotta pick a direction. Micro cloak. Probably should have done cloak micro warp first, but alright, so we got nothing on D-scan, and this is where you'd report to your FC. D-scan range clear, 7 in local, because 8 minus us makes 7. And then next you would check what there is. So we've got Solar Fleet, Initiative Mercenaries, 2 Initiative Mercenaries, 2 Solar Fleet, NPC Corp. And when you have an NPC Corp, check the employment history, see who they've been with before. They've been with Russian SOBR for just under a year, under 12 months, and then back to a NPC corporation to this day. So that is most likely because of how long it's been in that, from 2012 to about 24 months. So you can safely assume that that's a scout, like an unconnected scout to probably one of the groups up here, maybe. And we've got Solar Wing, that's coalitioned with Solar Fleet. This is something you'll also need to familiarize yourself with. This is what alliances are affiliated with each other, which means blue standings, and Solar Fleet. So you want to be checking through these as quickly as possible and report to the FC that you've got, like we had 3 Solar Fleet, 1 Solar Wing, and then 2 from Initiative Mercenaries. Now we've also had more people enter, but because I was busy explaining stuff, I wasn't paying attention to who entered. That's basic information scouting for your fleet, and being able to determine what's out and about. But because there's nothing on D-scan, I couldn't really report, like, let's say a Demos fleet or something.